Kulve Taroth is here. The new stories update finally adds the big golden lady, and if you aren't super over leveled, it might be a fun and good challenge for you. As you may know, there are 3 tiers of rewards for this quest to defeat Kulve within various time limits. Most importantly, the gold reward, 20 minutes or less for a super rare den ticket, which is always nice. This quest is required to be done in co-op, so either online or with an NPC, and inside of it you must defeat both an Astalos and a Brachadios before you take on Kulve, who's a big boss fight. Doing that in under 20 minutes can be brutal, so much so that I needed to create an ideal build, a path and plan to actually do it. I'm happy to say though, I did manage it at 19 minutes and 20 seconds, and I didn't do it while level 90 or something, I did it at level 58. So here's my guide on how to beat Kulve in 20 minutes or less. An important disclaimer before I begin, I did this as duo in co-op with SB, he was level 60, running basically the same build as me. Together we planned out how we'd take down Kulve at every turn, forming this build. We'd make choices as fast as possible and try not to waste any time. Trying to do this with an NPC is a lot harder, so I do recommend you do this with a friend if you aren't super over leveling it. The quest has 3 stages. Stage 1 where you must defeat an Astalos and a Brachie, Stage 2 where you fight an armored Kulve, and Stage 3 where she's derobed and you're fighting her in an armorless state, going for the kill. The super short version of it is this. Pop a cool mist and split up. Have one player go defeat Astalos and one player go defeat Brachie. Do it at the same time, it's the fastest way. Astalos is on the left side of the map, Brachie's on the right, and after that, Kulve is near Brachie at the top right side of the map. Head to Kulve and break her armor, causing her to retreat, and then catch her in the next area to the north and finish her off. But the question is, how do you do this in under 20 minutes? Well, let's get to it. Starting with the build then. Kulve is weak to thunder while armored, and ice when she's revealed. In her armored state, she will attack with technical and then enrage into power attacks. In her unarmored state, she attacks with speed, and then once again will power mode when enraged. So I opted to bring Rajang for thunder and power attacks, Kiran for thunder and speed, and Velkhana for ice and technical. Importantly, all 3 of these Monsties have kinships that are target kinships. They are not AoE. This way they'll actually damage the parts, unlike AoE kinships which don't. For weapons, she is weak to slash and blunt damage, and since this is a largely part-breaking fight, we want to maximize that type of damage. I bring the Diablos Greatsword, but more importantly, 2 blunt options. In my case, I went for the Thunderlord Hammer for big thunder damage in phase 1, and the Velkhana Hunting Horn for phase 2 and ice damage. The reason we want the Hunting Horn instead of a Frost Hammer is because of the evasion rift skill on this particular Hunting Horn. For 1 turn, the whole party can evade the incoming attack. Since Kulve does a very deadly fire attack which hits the whole party, the evasion rift is huge. Now when it comes to armor set and talismans, it may depend on what you have and what build you're running, but I strongly recommend the weak point skill in extra large. I got this from my talisman. Since we're breaking parts, and this skill will massively increase the rate at which you crit if you're attacking a part with the correct weapon, well, that's big damage. For the armor set, I was using the Grimclaw Tigrex set, which provides me with sort of a cheat death and way more head-to-head damage in general. The goal is to get as much damage from your build as possible. This is how I did it. This leaves us set up in the best possible way for the Kulve fight, but what about the Astalos and Brachie? Well, as it turns out, as I said, splitting up to have one player go take down either Asta or Brachie while the other takes down the other monster, well, that's the fastest option. Why? Well, because neither of them are Elder Dragons or Deviants, they're regular monsters, which means the incredible gene Deadly Horn Jab, or the one-shot gene, actually works. White Monopolos has this incredible gene, a power Monstie skill, which has the chance to instantly kill the target if it's a regular monster. Astalos and Brachie count for that, so it works on them. Technically, it's possible to start the fight with either one, instantly Deadly Horn Jab when you have the kinship for it, and instantly take them down. In reality, it's not as easy as that. It took me and SB a few attempts before it actually went off and worked, but as you can see, it works. To give yourself the best chance that it actually works, you want to have Deadly Horn Jab at level 3. Even when we messed this up and had bad luck, I literally had to defeat a Gravios because I didn't avoid him properly, we still managed it. And that's because the one-shot gene will cut down so much time in which you'd normally have to fight these 2 monsters. Now you've taken these 2 down, it's time to head to Kulve near Brachie at the northeastern side of the map. Kulve in phase 1 has 3 parts to break, and they all need to be broken before she'll actually go into phase 2. Use a thunder blunt weapon to do so, and be wary that she's going to be fighting you with technical attacks, and she will enrage into to power briefly. Throughout this phase, she is weak to thunder damage, which is why I'm running Rajang for thunder power attacks into her technical state, and then Kirin for thunder speed attacks against her enraged power state. Now, besides direct attacks, there are two skills to watch for when she attacks you: Golden Roller and Core Burst. Golden Roller is just a reasonable AoE attack that is manageable, while Core Burst is going to deal more damage and then burn people who are hit. Evading this is a good idea, or running fire or burn resistance if you can. This phase is very easy though. You just break the parts, use the correct attack types, and use thunder damage while healing through any AoE damage when needed. As always though, kinship attacks interrupt the enemy attack, which could prevent them from dealing any damage. If you time that for whenever you see her about to do a core burst, well, that's great. Once we finally break all the parts though, she will shed her armor and run away after a single hit. She heads to the north in the very next area, so go after her ASAP. And this is where we swap to Velkhana, or whatever frost technical Monstie you're using. Phase 2 with the armorless Kulve is definitely the scary part thanks to her enraged mode here. To begin with, she'll attack with speed, and is now weak to frost. When she enrages, she'll swap back to power attacks again just like before. Be sure to target the horns with frost blunt damage though, because she gets knocked down when the horns break, and that's a bonus damage window. Besides targeting you with speed, she'll have a new skill though: Glory Spear. This targets one person for reasonable damage, and it's not too scary really. Here what's important is making use of the Velkhana Hunting Horn to evade her AoE fire attack, Core Burst. We can see that she's about to do it because she'll face the center of our party but not actually have a target line on anyone. The evasion rift costs 35 kinship, so throughout this whole phase we made sure at least one of us had enough kinship to use it whenever needed. Josh told me that he was using lifesteal effects to heal through this attack, but I found that too risky because she spams Core Burst in this phase. Since we're completely avoiding all of its damage, well, that makes it a lot easier to manage. When she does enrage in this phase though, things get really scary because she starts attacking twice every turn. You want to make sure that no one in the party can be taken down by a direct power attack in prep for that second hit. Be aware though, the second attack will eventually be a core burst at one point. This is something she does to exit the enrage. You know it's coming. Since we were 3 out of 3 hearts at this point, we just tanked that damage and played around the enrage as though every second hit was just another power attack, since we never really knew when that core burst would come, just that it was coming. With all of that in mind, careful gameplay and fast decisions, well, that should lead you to your sub 20-minute kill, just as it did for us. We're like 19 minutes. Oh my god, dude!
G fucking G.
Yes! We did it! I can't believe it! Dude, this is with us killing Gravios and you couldn't get Astalos to die. 1918 is what we did it on. One thing I want to highlight though is how poor of a run this actually was for us. SB got really unlucky with Astalos. The deadly horn jab took a load of attempts for him before it actually worked, while I accidentally bumped into a Gravios on the way to Brachy. I definitely didn't have to fight that, and I would say that we lost at least 1 minute or more because of what happened. So it's certainly possible, even faster than we did it, and we did it at level 58 and 60. If you're higher level than us, I'm sure that makes it just even easier. But there you have it. That is how we defeated Kulve in under 20 minutes. I found it a very fun and tough challenge. If my advice helped you, drop a like so I know to make more videos like this in the future. If you have any changes to the build or suggestions that might help someone, drop a comment. Otherwise, that's it. I've been Hollow. You've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.